10 most dangerous bridges ever. Cross at your own risk. Imagine standing at the edge of a bridge. The wind howls, the floor beneath you sways, and below, an endless drop into the abyss. Would you dare to take the first step? Around the world, bridges defy not just gravity but human courage. These dangerous crossings are a testament to engineering, bravery, and sometimes sheer desperation. Today, we'll take you through the 10 most dangerous bridges ever, uncovering the risks, the stories, and why safety awareness matters more than ever. Stay with us as we explore breathtaking heights, dizzying slopes, and the thin line between adventure and survival. Before we begin the countdown, let's understand what makes a bridge dangerous. It's not always about poor construction. Danger can come from many sources. Some bridges are ancient, with time and weather eroding their once solid structures. Others are designed for foot traffic only, but desperate travelers push their limits. Wind, height, narrow pathways, and a lack of safety features all contribute to a bridge's risks. Our journey begins in remote northern Pakistan with the Hussaini Hanging Bridge, a death-defying feat of engineering or lack thereof. Made of wooden planks spaced far apart, this swaying structure crosses the Hunza River. Locals depend on it for travel between villages, despite its terrifying instability. One wrong step here could mean plunging into icy waters. The bridge's frail appearance attracts thrill-seeking adventurers, but for the local villagers it's a lifeline. This adds a layer of sobering reality. It's not a choice, it's a necessity. Would you risk it? Next, we travel to India's dense Meghalaya rainforests, where nature itself has crafted living root bridges, structures formed by weaving and training tree roots. These ancient bridges are stunning works of art, but they're not without danger. During the monsoon season, the moss-covered roots become slick and treacherous. Imagine walking over a living, breathing bridge that might betray your footing at any moment. While these bridges symbolize humanity's innovative bond with nature, they also highlight the risks we take to adapt to unforgiving environments. Prepare for one of the steepest road bridges on Earth, Eshima Ohashi Bridge in Japan. Nicknamed the Roller Coaster Bridge, its absurd incline gives drivers the daunting challenge of ascending and descending what feels like a near-vertical incline. Think of a slippery slope, but now imagine navigating it in bad weather, icy roads, heavy rain, and poor visibility. The bridge is an engineering marvel, but would you trust your brakes enough to cross it? Russia's Kwandinsky Bridge is straight out of a nightmare. This narrow, decaying railway bridge spans the Vitim River and has no guardrails, just a rickety wooden surface barely wide enough for a car. During winter, it gets coated in ice, transforming every crossing into an intense test of nerve and skill. Many locals still rely on this bridge, despite knowing the risks. Why? Because they have no alternative. This bridge is a haunting reminder that some places in the world still prioritize survival over comfort. High above the French Alps near Mont Blanc is a bridge that's not for the faint of heart, the Aiguille du Midi Bridge. Perched at nearly 12,600 feet, this narrow structure offers jaw-dropping views of snow-capped peaks and thin air that can leave you gasping. The altitude alone makes it daunting, but add in freezing temperatures and icy footing, and you've got one of the most exhilarating and dangerous bridges in the world. Would you cross it for the best view of the Alps? Myanmar's Ubain Bridge holds the record as the longest teakwood bridge in the world. Stretching across Tungthaman Lake, it's stunning at sunrise, when tourists and locals alike flock to photograph its silhouette. But its beauty comes with danger. The bridge is 1.2 kilometers long, unsteady in parts, and threatened by seasonal flooding that weakens the structure. For locals, it's an everyday crossing. For visitors, it's a nerve-wracking walk into the unknown. Canada's Capilano Suspension Bridge is a tourist magnet, offering breathtaking views of a lush canyon and forest below. But when hundreds of people walk across at the same time, the bridge begins to sway, leaving many gripping the ropes in fear. In extreme weather, with high winds or icy conditions, this suspension bridge becomes even more intimidating. It's a lesson in balance, both physically and emotionally. Imagine walking across a bridge made entirely of glass, perched 980 feet above the ground. That's the Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge in China. It's not just a bridge, it's a psychological test. The transparent floor lets you stare straight down into a breathtaking canyon, forcing you to confront vertigo. If that weren't enough, the bridge's glass panels once cracked under high traffic, leaving visitors terrified. While it was repaired and deemed safe, would you trust glass to hold you up that high? In Northern Ireland, a rope bridge dangles precariously over rocky cliffs. The Carrick-a-Reid rope bridge is the kind of narrow, wobbly crossing that evokes primal fear. Swinging in high winds, it challenges your balance and bravery with every step. Though it's built for tourists, many are too scared to return once they've crossed. Visitors sometimes freeze mid-walk, needing assistance to get to the end. Could you brave the swaying ropes, or would fear stop you short? Finally, the most dangerous of all, the Siduhe Bridge in China. Suspended at nearly 1,600 feet above Hubei's Sidu River Gorge, it's the highest bridge in the world. Covered in mist and fog for much of the year, visibility is often zero, making crossings incredibly risky. The bridge's massive height and narrow lanes make it terrifying for drivers, who often rely on blind faith when navigating through unpredictable weather conditions. It's an awe-inspiring engineering marvel, but it's one that doesn't forgive mistakes. These bridges aren't mere thrill rides, they've been the backdrop for incredible stories, both heroic and tragic. Take, for example, the resilience of villagers crossing the Husseini Hanging Bridge daily, or tourists frozen in fear on the Carrick-a-Reid Bridge needing help to move again. These incidents show both the courage of human spirit and the dire consequences of underestimating nature's unpredictability. Why do these dangerous bridges remain? In many cases, it comes down to economics and necessity. For isolated communities, replacing an old, dangerous bridge is a distant dream. Others, like those in high tourism areas, thrive off their reputation for fearsome thrills. But these bridges also teach us about adaptability, the weaving of nature and engineering in the living root bridges, and the calculated risks taken in developing structures like Eshima Ohashi. Here's where safety awareness becomes crucial. Adventurous or necessary, crossing any dangerous bridge demands proper preparation and respect for the environment. If you ever find yourself approaching a dangerous bridge, keep these tips in mind. Assess the weather. Wind, fog, and rain can turn a risky bridge into an outright hazard. Dress appropriately. Wear non-slip shoes and gear suited for the environment. Respect load limits. Don't crowd a bridge or exceed weight restrictions. Trust local advice. Locals often know the safest way to cross. When in doubt, pause, assess your limits, and never ignore warning signs. Dangerous bridges are a paradox. They terrify us, yet they inspire awe. They challenge human ingenuity and spirit, but they also remind us of the stark dangers that lie in crossing overlooked boundaries. Whether you're a thrill seeker or someone relying on an isolated bridge out of necessity, the lesson is the same. Recognize the risks, respect the structures, and prioritize safety. So the next time you approach a bridge swaying in the wind, ask yourself, would you dare to cross? The answer might just save your life or make for an unforgettable story. Stay safe and remember, some bridges should only be admired from afar.